Hi, welcome to another edition of Seven's Pinballorama. Today we're just going to do some questions and answers. I've been getting a lot of questions, either people that come in the door or people that send me a message and say, I've got a question. What's the answer? So we're just going to zip through. I think there's about 10 of them, and we'll go through them, and I'll try to be brief. Big guns. So a common question I get is, how's business been? Business has been really, really good, actually. We opened in July, and we caught the tail end of tourist season, so we were crazy busy for almost 3 months, maybe. School started. That kind of slowed us down to a crawl for a week or two. We had the hurricane. That slowed us down for about a week because, you know, nobody wants to play pinball in a hurricane. I don't know why. After the hurricane, there was a little bit of recovery time. That was maybe a couple of weeks. And then things all picked up again, and business has been really good. We just came out of December, and December was kind of crazy busy. It was one of our better months in the last few months. So yeah, business has been good. Response has been good. People enjoy it. There's really nothing like this around here. So it's been nice. It's just something different for people to go out and do things. So people kind of ask us what our common demographic is of the people that are coming in here. I think they kind of think, it's pinball, it's kind of an older thing. Maybe we have kind of an older crowd that comes in. But really the people that are coming through the door are just broad across the board. It's pretty much everybody. Kids are being introduced to it, and kids like, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, they get introduced to it, and 80% of them just fall in love with it because they've never really played anything like this. Some like 20-somethings, they've kind of seen pinball maybe around a little bit, but they haven't given it much attention. And they come in, they kind of get hooked on it. And then, people my generation, Gen X, we know about it. And then kind of the older generations. But it's just kind of all kinds of different people that have come in here. Hey, do you have an Addams Family? No, I don't have an Addams Family. And there's actually a reason for that. When we were buying machines for the arcade in the Vancouver area, there were a handful of bars around that had pinball machines, and you can go and play an Addams Family. So Addams Family usually fetches a fairly high price tag. And so when I was looking at machines to buy, I thought, well, sure, I could spend $10,000 and buy an Addams Family, and then I'm going to have an Addams Family just like these 6 other places in town have an Addams Family. What if I spend $5,000 twice and get games that none of these places have? So that was sort of my thought process. And I also wanted to have some older machines, some older EMs and things, and not just have like a lot of the new stuff or just a handful of popular solid state machines or the DMD era games or something. So that was my idea of not getting an Addams Family. Now, if I run across an Addams Family and it's not a stupid price, I'll probably buy it, but I'm not actively searching for an Addams Family. Why a pinball arcade? Why did we open a pinball arcade? That's kind of a common question, actually. What brought us to do this? Was it just pinball was just a hobby and we thought we'd try to turn it into something? So kind of. I was working in IT, and when you work IT, you most of your customers and the people you interact with are kind of angry and grouchy because something has stopped working and they need it to work, and they kind of take it out on you. And that, over the years, that really started to kind of drag down on me. We had set up some pinball machines at the house. We had people coming over, they were playing, they were having a good time. We're showing people pinball for the first time, and watching them sort of go from, I don't know what I'm doing on this, to, oh, I get it. And then they start having fun and they're playing it for a while and really enjoying themselves. It was one of those things like, there are such a thing as arcades. I wonder if we can take this pinball thing, make it a thing, and I can change careers and not have grouchy people, but have people going, yay, I'm having a really good time. So that was sort of the idea behind it, was just doing something different and doing something that involved happy people for once. So after we came up with the idea of doing the Pinball Arcade, we only had about 8 machines or so. So we needed some serious inventory to make this happen. So we spent about 2.5 years just hunting down machines. We were living in the Vancouver, BC area, and it was some months we were bringing home 2 or 3 machines. Other months, maybe 1 or none. After about 2.5 years, we had 60 something machines. Most of these machines came out of personal homes. People had bought the machine years ago, or like dad bought the machine years ago and then dad didn't want it anymore, gave it to the kid didn't want it, or something, something like that. They just had this thing laying around that they weren't interested in. I got a fair amount of machines out of people that were moving and they just needed the machine gone. There was one particular realtor. The owner of the house had a machine, he didn't want it anymore. The realtor wanted the machine, so he spent the whole time that the house was listed trying to convince his wife, hey, we need a pinball machine at home. And the house eventually sold, and then there was a transition time before the new owner took possession of the house. And so the realtor was trying really hard. We got to, honey, we really need this machine. And at the end of the day, she said, no. And so I got a call from him, it was like 24 hours before the new owner took possession. And he's like, I will give you this machine super cheap. You just need it out of here in like 8 hours. So I just dashed over there, gave him a couple $100 or something for it. And that was a Gottlieb Sinbad machine. Needs some work, but for $200, what are you gonna do? But waited till the last minute to get that machine out of there. I did buy from some collectors that had machines, and I knew a couple of guys in Vancouver that would find machines, they'd fix them up and they'd sell them. And they knew the type of machine I was looking for. So if they ran across a machine that they thought I'd be interested in, they'd hit me up and they'd say, hey, we've got whatever machine it is. Are you interested? And they would sell it to me for less, and they would save the time of fixing it up. So it was kind of a cool arrangement. Machines also kind of had their way of finding me, because since we've opened here, I've kind of gotten known as the pinball guy in the area, or one of the pinball guys in the area. And so I get calls periodically, or people send me emails like, hey, I've got a machine, are you interested? So yeah, it's just, that's kind of how we're doing it now, is just machines are kind of finding me. But I'm still hunting. I still hunt, and I still pull them out of basements and old rec rooms or garages or something like that. That's where most of them come from. One question I get asked from time to time when it's busy in here and all the machines are going and everything, a lot of people are like, does the sound bother you? Because it can be kind of loud and ruckus, and lots of blips and bleeps and blooms and flipper sounds and the whole thing. Where I spend most of my time up in the front counter when it gets busy, up in the front counter in the back, the sound levels are not bad. I did a read and they pretty much remain under about 80 decibels. It's just kind of this clackety ongoing wash of different melodies all played at once and stuff. And the first couple of weeks, when I was in here after we opened, I was kind of like, this might start driving me a little nuts. I don't know about this. And I was going into the back like every half hour I was out here, I'd go into the back for a minute or two and let my ears kind of relax. But after a few weeks of being in here, it kind of turns into this wash. You kind of get used to it and it doesn't bother me. I haven't done it yet because it's mostly a time thing, but I want to put acoustic treatments on the ceiling. I think that will help kind of keep things under control a little bit, and you might actually be able to hear the game a little bit better if the sound from across the room is kind of being absorbed. So hopefully I can find time to do that in the next month or so. If it kind of slows down in February a little bit, then maybe we'll get some acoustic treatments up and kind of help that. I have kind of gone through and sort of adjusted the sound of the machine. I don't want them too loud. I actually have a couple machines that have kind of a little bit of a sound card problem, and I haven't bothered fixing them because it's just added ruckus, and the machines, they don't have call outs or anything like that. And you play them when you're in a room full of other machines being played, and you don't miss that. You can't really hear the sound, so not that big of a deal. I'll get them fixed eventually, but I'm not rushing.